Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Echo. Today we're doing a decently quick video, kinda, hopefully. It's going to just be my reading wrap up for August, and I'm going to be telling you what my September TBR is going to be. There's not going to be a TBR jar video this month. I did record one originally, but I did not like how it turned out, so I'm not gonna post it, so you're gonna have to deal with not having that. I promise my next video is gonna not be one relating to TBRs, because including this one, I will have had 3 out of the 4 videos on my YouTube channel would have been TBR related videos, including this one. So my next one's not gonna be that. I know this. I have a few videos planned out. I don't know exactly which order I'm gonna do them, but I have some planned out. It's not gonna be another TBR video, I promise. But let's just get into it. I didn't read that many books last month, actually, because I was still kind of in my reading slump. I've been in a reading slump since like the middle of June, and it's horrible. I am slightly more out of it, but I'm still like kind of in it. But anyway, let's just start. The very first book that I tried to read but DNF'd was Mean Spirited by Nick Roberts. It's like a paranormal horror thriller book. Basically, it has to do with this teacher and then this girl that gets murdered. It's at the very beginning of the book, so she gets murdered immediately. But her dog, Conehead, I'm pretty sure this dude ends up taking her in, and the dog in, after the girl dies or something. And there's like some spooky sort of thing following Conehead around, and there's some sort of thing with that going on. Also, I don't have the book on me right now, but that's what the cover looks like, just for reference. I don't have the actual book on me, but that's what it looks like. But anyway, the next book that I read that I actually finished is This Is How You Lose the Time War. This was a pretty good book. It's basically, it's a sci-fi book. Basically, what happens is Red and Blue, the two characters, start sending letters to each other back and forth, and it's sort of like a love story thing. It can get a little confusing and kind of tedious to read sometimes, but overall I thought it was pretty good. I rated it 4.5 stars. I feel like I would more rate it 4 stars now, just 4, or yeah, I feel like it's a 4-star book, but it is still really good. I think you should read it. I do find that I like these types of books that don't have a lot of dialogue, and I liked it. It was an enjoyable read. And then, what was the next book I read? The next one, which I also DNF'd, was Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I don't have this one because it was a library book, but I read like 20 pages in, and I just wasn't vibing with it. I didn't feel like forcing myself to keep reading it either, so I just stopped reading it. It wasn't bad, but just for some reason the initial writing was kind of throwing me off. I don't know, maybe it's because, like, also another thing about this book, I'm gonna mention this now, is this is like the most lyrically written book I've ever read, I have to say, or like at least one of the most lyrically written books I've read. And maybe that's what kind of threw me off, because I was reading like a very lyrically written book, and then all of a sudden I go into like what feels like a not really same type of writing, so maybe that's what threw me off. But anyway, I DNF'd that one. But the next book I finished which I actually finished this one, was The Alchemist. This is also a library book, and I'm going to be returning it tomorrow because I'm heading to the library, which is also why I'm recording this now when it's dark outside, as you can tell from my window. But yeah, this was a 6-star read for me. This is so good. It's basically like a message about to not give up on your dreams, and just, it's very enjoyable. I really liked the writing style, and also I want to show you, there's like drawings in this which are also very cool, so I'm just gonna flip to like show you one. This is at the beginning of the book. Oh, also there's a map, which is cool. So yeah, there's like a bunch of drawings in here which I just find them very cool and cool looking, and I just like them. I want to show you a few more from this, and also there are so many like really good quotes in this book. I don't have any that I wrote down or anything, so I can't show you them, but I posted some on my Instagram when I finished the book, so if you want to check out some of my favorite quotes, you can look at my Instagram. It'll be in the description. But yeah, I'm just like kind of flipping through it, showing some of these drawings. The full page ones are also really cool, so. But yeah, this is like, it's just a really good book and I really enjoyed it. Basically the premise, it follows this boy, I'm forgetting his name. What is your name? Santiago is the guy's name. It follows him and him having this dream about finding treasure, and him going on this journey to find the said treasure and stuff, and the people he meets along the way. And it's basically pretty much like the premise is to not give up on your dreams and like follow what you want. But also, this is the last picture I'm going to show you, but this is also like they're just really cool photos and like drawings and stuff. So yeah, that's that one. And then the next one, which I also DNF'd. Listen, I don't know if it's just me, but I'm someone who always, like, if I'm not initially feeling like vibing with a book, I automatically DNF it. Like, I'm not gonna force myself to read a book that I just don't feel like reading. But this one I like barely got into. It's called The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turchin. I don't know. Also, I realized I didn't say who the other people wrote the books, but you know what, it doesn't matter. Anyway, also a library book. I just didn't feel like reading it at the time. It has a really cool premises, and I think like on like a cool idea and stuff, and I think I will actually probably read this book in the future. I might just buy it myself or something, but right now I just didn't feel like reading it. I just wasn't in the mood. But then there's one more that I started in August. It's called The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. I read it on Kindle, so I don't have it, so, but again, there's the little cover. It's like a romance book. I haven't gotten that far into it, and I don't remember like super much about it. I just read it because it was like we were waiting for a while, and I forgot my book at home, so I went on Kindle and went on to Kindle Unlimited. I looked up some romance books to read because I forgot my book. So that I haven't finished it yet. So far, it's like, it's kind of interesting. It's pretty interesting. I'm only like 40 or so pages in. But yeah, that's what I got so far. And then we're gonna go ahead. I have my September t.b.r. right here. So I'm just gonna quickly go through all these books and like roughly say what they're about. Some of these I don't really know what they're about specifically, but that's how that is. But anyway, the one I'm actually going to be reading right now is Babel by R.F. Kuang. I have heard a lot about this book and it's really good, and I saw it at my library for a few times and I'm like, I want to read that. So last time I went, I picked it up. I'm gonna be reading it. I'm gonna read a little bit of it tonight. I don't know how much. I'm a little tired right now even, but having my overhead light on is kind of waking me up. But I'm probably gonna start like actually reading it tonight. I haven't gotten that far into it, but this is the first book on my September t.b.r. Anyway, I don't know actually like specifically what this is about, but I feel like most people do. It has some sort of like magic system with like magical silver or something. So that's what that is. But anyway, the next book I got on my t.b.r. is The Sleeping Car Porter by Suzette Mayer. This one, this is like a queer black story in like 1929, it says. I'll just read the back for you because or like kind of parts of it. Basically, the Baxter is has a job as a sleeping car porter on a train, and it crisscrosses the continent, and basically on a trip, passengers are more unruly than usual. The train is stranded for days in the mountains. Basically, the passengers' secrets start to leak out and blur with the sleep-deprived hallucinations Baxter is having, and then he finds an illicit postcard of two men. Baxter's memories and longings are reawakened. Keeping the postcard puts his job in peril, but he can't part with it or his thoughts of a certain Edwin Drew Porter instructor. But yeah, it's like that's pretty much what it's about. So I'm trying to be like relatively quick through doing this, but that's the next one. Then we got The Kite Runner by Khalid Hosseini. I don't know if that's how you say his name, but this is like I'd say it's very popular. It's actually, I learned like a little bit ago that's considered like a modern classic. I didn't know this was a modern book. For some reason I thought this book was much older than it actually is. I don't know why, but I thought it was. But yeah, I don't know what like this specifically is about. It's like following two friendships, or two boys that are friends, and like how their friendship goes along and stuff. I'm pretty sure something about that. But yeah, that's kind of what it's about. But then the next one is Winter's Orbit by Irvina Maxwell. I think that's how you say her name. But it's this one. This is a sci-fi book. Basically, the two main characters are forced to get married for whatever reason. It's like political reason or something. And one of the characters is like framed for murder or something. And then they have to go through that, and but yet the one of the dudes is a murder suspect, and neither of them wants to be married. And then there's like conspiracies unfolding around them, and the fate of the empire at stake. They will have to navigate the thorns and barbs of court intrigue and machinations of war, and the long shadows of Julian's past, and they'll have to do it together. So begins a legendary love story amid the stars. So yeah, it's basically like a sci-fi love story with politics and stuff. I'm kind of hoping, hold on. When I first saw this book, I'm kind of hoping, I know they're like they're not at all the same stories, but I'm kind of hoping it gives me the same vibes and feels as The Darkness Outside Us by Elliot Schreffer. This is my all-time favorite book ever in all existence. This is my favorite book ever, and I'm really excited because the second book to this comes out on October 1st, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to read it, and I want it now, but I can't have it. But yeah, this is just like my favorite book ever, and I'm kind of hoping this gives me like relatively the same vibes, or like same feeling. So I'm hoping they're not like the same story at all, but gay love story in space. This and like, I don't know what I'm saying, but you understand, okay? I'm kind of hoping that it gives me the same vibes, so that's what I'm thinking. And then I'm just gonna throw that book over there. And then the next one we got is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Tashizaku Kawai. I can't say that last name, I'm sorry. But this is a very popular book, and it's actually a very popular book series, and I'm excited to read it. It sounds very interesting. It's basically like if you could change if you could change and travel back in time. Like, what would you change if you could travel back in time? Basically, the small back alley of Tokyo, there's a cafe that has been serving carefully brewed coffee for more than 100 years. Local legend says this coffee shop offers something else than coffee, the chance to travel back in time. Over the course of one summer, 4 customers visit the cafe in hopes of making that journey, but time travel isn't so simple, and there are rules that must be followed. Most important, the trip can only last as long as it takes for the coffee to get cold. Heartwarming, wistful, mysterious, and delightfully quirky. Blah blah blah. But yeah, it's like a kind of sci-fi elements to it, and it sounded interesting, so that's this. Also, I realize this is almost like a 20-minute long video now, so I'm gonna try and speed it up and not go as much in depth to what these books are about, so you're gonna have to deal with that. But anyway, we got The Cemetery Boys. It's basically The Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas is like where one dude is trying to summon a ghost and accidentally summons this other dude that he didn't mean to, and the ghost doesn't want to leave and like has to do some sort of thing, and something like that. And it's like the more the ghost stays around, the less the other dude wants him to leave. So that's basically what's that about. So that's The Cemetery Boys. Then we got The City Beautiful by Aidan Polydoros. I think that's how you say his name. Anyway, this is basically like a Jewish story, queer love. I don't know if it's really a love story, but it has to do with like kind of queer Jewish thing. Basically, the main character's friend gets murdered, and then his like evil ghost, which is called a book. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, I'm sorry, but he's the ghost is like possessing him and trying to take over and stuff, and they have to stop the guy that's murdering all these Jewish boys before the book takes over the main dude, and to like stop it from happening. And then there's this other guy that's also helping him, that's sort of like, I think they might be in love or something. They might something to do with that, I don't know, but that's that book. And then we got Hell Follows With Us by Andrew Joseph White. Also, he just got his new book just came out, Compound Fracture. That's cool. Just wanted to point out. But this is a horror book. It's basically the main character was stuck in this cult, and okay, let me read the back for you. Actually, basically Benji, the main dude, is on the run from the cult that raised him, the fundamentalist sect that unleashed Armageddon and decimated the world's population. Desperately, he searches for a place where the cult can't get their hands on him. More importantly, on the deadly bioweapon they infected him with. Basically, they infected him with this thing, and there's like gore, and he like kind of like body gore or something. I think he has like his face kind of comes off, and like he grows wings and crap or something. But that's basically what this is about. And he also meets up with another group of people, and they like help him out and stuff. That's also like a queer book. And then we have 2 more. And then we got The Forgotten Colony by T.b.r. This is a sci-fi book. Basically, I'm gonna read the back too because I don't want to get this wrong, but basically this dude, Zach Croft, wants to forget the Prescott colony ever happened. He wants to forget the crimsons and the dunes, violent dust storms, and meteor impacts. He wants to forget the sight of his neighbors bleeding from their eyes as boils ravage their bodies. He wants to forget the fact that his best friend was left to die. Most of all, he wants to forget he wants to forget that without Prescott, humanity is doomed. But when Prescott dropship plummets from the sky 23 years later, he has no choice but to remember. Zach embarks on a life or death quest for answers about the dropship's impossible return. He discovers something even more important. There's still hope for humanity's survival. With conditions rapidly worsening on Earth, he is in a race against time to return to Mars, finish the work that Prescott started, and save the human race from extinction. To do so, he must face the truth about what really happened in Prescott, a truth that calls into question everything he thinks he knows about who he is, who he trusts, and what he has done. That's what this is about. It's a sci-fi book. It's great. That was a speed reading. Okay, the very last book, I'm sorry this is 22 minutes. I talk so much. All my videos are so long. I was expecting this to be like a 10 or 15 minute video. It's 22 minutes now. Almost 23. But anyway, the very final book that I will be reading, or maybe not reading, it depends, I don't know, is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. It's the second book in part of Your World series. I don't have the first book in this series, but honestly, I don't care about reading it. They technically are standalone books. They're just interconnected. They're in the same world, pretty much. And I just don't care. Also, I didn't actually have to buy this. I found this in a little free library by my house, and I was very surprised to find it. I'm like, oh my god, mine. But yeah, this is romance. You know what this is about. Anyway, that is the last book. Let's, oh, also, I forgot there's actually one more. I added, Percy Jackson, the 7th book that's coming out, and the 24th, I believe. The Wrath of the Triple Goddess. But, yeah, that's also on my t.b.r. But anyway, these are all the books. It's a lot. I have 11 books on my t.b.r. this month. I really doubt that I'm gonna be able to read all of them, but I think I'm going to do, actually, I don't know if it's gonna be for my next video. I don't think it is, because I'm planning something else for it. But I am gonna do like a 24-hour reading challenge and try and read absolutely as many books on my t.b.r. that I can, because I want to actually read my t.b.r. because, like, for the past few months, I haven't read, like, most of the time, I don't read, like, any of the books that are on my t.b.r. at most, every single month so far, I've only read one book that's actually on my TBR, and I wanna do more than that. But yeah, these are all the books. Jeez, it's kind of heavy. But anyway, that's the end of the video. That's all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry this video was so long. I didn't mean it to be. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed my yapping and endless ranting. But anyway, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.